And it's that time so you can get a little bit more done. And I left off, it was the front fender was just taped to the tire, and that ain't gonna go down the road very good. So I gotta make some brackets up to come off of the bottom of the triple tree to attach to it. And that's about the height we're gonna go do. So I looked at some brackets, and I looked at that guy, and what can I make it out of? And I think I'm gonna go try going with a set of tongs, and we'll cut them off. And I like the little pattern that's on them. And I figure they're stainless too, so they're not going to rust. So I figure I'll take the what's left of the fender. I'm just going to kind of mock them up on the fender here, cut and bend and fabricate and all that kind of happy stuff. And then when I'm ready to put them up on the bike, I'll get the spring out of the way and we'll figure out where they're going to go, and we'll drill and mount them. So that's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go do some chop on that and see if we can get that sucker supported. Yeah, you wouldn't believe how hard it was to make those suckers kind of follow the form of that fender. And even with that, they're kind of so-so. But we got them. And I kind of want to so I can take it back apart again. And what you see on those things are called Cleco pins. The aircraft industry used those for when they would hang the sheet metal on the side of the plane, that they could assemble and take it back apart again and fit stuff. And that's what I just did with it. Oh, it's got another dent in it. Anyway, so we're kind of going with, I'm going to say something like that for our two brackets. And so now I got to make the mounts in the that aluminum plate there. And then again, two in the back, and I'll drill them out. And I'll probably leave those on there, the Cleco pins. That is what it is, for after I paint the fender, and then I'll put rivets in it to hold it together. But I want to be able to take it apart. I'm going to leave those salad tongs, because they're stainless, we'll leave that be another piece of bright metal on it, you know, something like that. Kind of topping out in the spring a little bit there too, but that should be good. If I need some more room, I could always modify that where the screw holes are and slot them and key them up a little bit, and or the front suspension is adjustable too by turning those guys out a little further and making my my spring a little more proud. Plus it's not down all the way. If I clamp that down a little bit more, that it kicks the front down a little bit further. That makes sense? Alright, so I'm going to go take that back apart, get that back out of the way, and see if we can drill that sucker and get those brackets mounted on there. Yeah. So, I forgot where I left off. Okay, the fender's on. How's that? And drilled and tapped up into the triple tree, and it's mounted in there. Those Cleco pins are holding it in place. I could take it apart and whatnot later. This one's kind of touching the spring, but the front will come up a little bit. But the way it's set right now, that's the ride height. What it's going to be, I'm going to say that's 1.5 inches from the fender, and I'm going to leave it like this for now. And when I get to see how the bike rides, if I bottom out a lot, all I'm going to do is just elongate those holes a little bit and kick it up a little further. But I rather for aesthetics purposes kind of look like it's you know, parallel in the wheel, fairly tight, and then again open it up if I need to. I drilled the center of the leaf spring, actually a plasma cut the center of the leaf spring, because this stuff is not easy to drill, and there's a threaded hole in here underneath, and I just used that for centering the spring, so it's forked in underneath, under there, and so it's there's no play from side to side on the main bar going through, and that play, when I tighten the screws up, will kind of take that out a little bit. Right now there's a washer kind of working as a shim, but that's pretty much how it's going to stay. So that'll get sandwiched in the front, is cranked down also, and it's got a little bit, if I need to adjust it over to the center of the wheel a little bit. That looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty level. And don't forget, these are adjustable yet too, so I could raise and lower the front suspension probably another inch or so just by cranking on the turnbuckles there. Alright, so I think I was off to something else. Oh, I know, I want to show you. I talked about those pins. I think I showed the tool how it works, so See if I can do this lefty one-handed. Yeah, you know the drill. What am I doing here? You're going like that. Okay. Ah, you suck. I'm putting you down. I picked up my right hand. So, yeah, that's kind of what they do. The extra pin come out of the center of it, pulls away, and as it comes back, it just spreads the outer two, locks itself together, and then the whole body spring loaded, so the brass touches against the material, so it sucks it up close and lines them. And they come in different sizes and different drill sizes. This one you drill an 1/8 inch hole for all of it. And usually you want a bunch. If you're doing like a quarter panel or something, you got them every 3 or 4 inches, you know. So, all right, I think I am going to go start on something. Maybe a guard. Maybe it's that time. Maybe we'll go for this one right here. Find out in a second. I'm going to suck that pulley in a little. So I'm going to take some off the outside. I'm going to go about an 1/8 inch, maybe a little more. Whatever I can get it to go in more is that much I can get the guard to clear it. You get the idea. Did I make you blink? So I spent some time trying to make a chain guard, belt guard, for this side. And it's very tight clearance. I ended up grinding that pulley and trying to make some more room between the pedal arm and the pulley, and then trying to make some clearance. You can tell I heat and bent that sucker just to try to help tuck underneath it. But I just wasn't feeling it, and I figure I'll come back to that when I am feeling it. How's that? So I decided some of the stuff I can do, and some of the stuff I want to do is reinforce the rear frame a little bit better. So I'm thinking of sistering the rear frame rails, and probably want to come from here off and see if we can kind of come down and come back in somewhere around here, and we'll do the same on the bottom and somewhat the same on the other side. So I figure that's what I'm going to go jump on, and what I'm going to go do is just steal the ass end off of that girl's bike right there, and we'll start cutting some of this stuff up and use that to be my my double bridge of sorts. So I'm going to get that bike dug out of there, and let's do some cutting and some fabricating. When I started taking stuff off, I remembered that this section of the frame was blown out. It's probably where it sat in a puddle for the last 40 years. And water collected on the inside. It was kind of rotted away, so I just kind of beat on it with a tapping hammer. Then I started to fill it. You can actually see a little bit of fill right there. And I said, you know, let me just go make a patch for it. It kept blowing out the more I was trying to hit it. So it's a section of that frame rail I just cut out and whittled away. And we're going to do a little bit more, just get that to snap over there, and we'll just weld that all the way around, and that should repair that damage, and then we'll build off of that over the top of it. Well, at first I decided I was going to do 4 legs going back, and then I kind of changed it up as I was trying to figure out where to stab into the frame. So I just ended up going for the top 2, and I figured I'd kind of try to keep this line going, and then try to match like the rear of the frame. The only thing I wish is that this had a little bit of a curve to it, kind of matching the rest of it, but that's all right. So that kind of stiffens up that upper triangle. You got both sides done. Then I did the same on this side, but I kicked it out and tried to match the profile. You're looking at it from the side, and then there it matches the other side. but it just gives me, again, generating triangles to stiffen everything up. So that should be good. It's not too bulky looking. A little concerned about where the shifter rocking, because I don't know in the future what position this is going to be in, but these con rods are adjustable, so I should have enough window for that. And I took the stand. I kicked it this way a little bit more. It was a little too straight up and down. I was afraid that when I was pedaling to try and start it, that it would want to like kind of flip over in the play of the keeper. I kind of want it to hyperextend a little bit past that so it stays. So that's what I did, and I welded some washers on there for that location. And again, when all this comes apart, we'll cut the top of that off, clean it up, build it up with weld and all that. And while I had that chain guard off the other bike, I figured I'd just throw it on there and see what it'll look like. Oh, and that other piece is tacked underneath there. So that piece is fit and repaired that frame that was damaged under there. Back up a little. Right on cue goes the compressor. Sorry about that. Made you jump, didn't it? So that's it. I'm going to wind her down. And I kind of like the chain guard. If it was going to stay like a rat bike where I was just trying to keep the bits and pieces of paint, I think it looked really cool. But I do think I want to continue to paint it. Yeah, it's coming together nicely. The coin's in there. Alright guys, so I'm going to go shut you down, and we'll call this one the end. Oh, people asking about what's up with the bus, the double cab. The reason why that's kind of been put on hold, see if I can do this, is the seam sealer that was underneath was fine. Hold on one second. Seam sealer I put on underneath set overnight and was fine. The seam sealer that I put on top, I top coated it too fast and this was not drying. It's finally now dry, but it was taking forever. It took several weeks for this to dry up. And my next step is to start grinding the Bondo that's out of the windshield there and start repairing the rust that's up there. Well, all that crap would have been stuck down below. So that's why I kind of put this on the back burner for a while, but I'll get back on it. It is ready to rock and roll. I took some of that windshield plastic and put it on it to just if I have to push it outside to keep the weather out of it, and keep it from getting any more rusty than what it already is. Try to protect the area it's already damaged. But yeah, I can still roll that stuff up and get it out of my way. And I got to weld up the bed too. It's got a bunch of little holes from the wood slats that I want to seal up that water can get in if it's outside too. All right, well now I'm starting to get on to something else. So again, thanks for watching, commenting, subscribing. Good night.